We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life. We ain't home. I told y'all the streets called me crazy. The streets called me crazy. Diddy ain't coming home. Diddy gonna do his life, his kid's life, and everybody's life in jail. I told him that's not happening. See, at first, the defense team or whoever was pushing Cassie and all the prosecutors and everyone releasing the videos of him beating up Shorty in the hotel. We didn't know what the charges were gonna be until he was actually charged. So at first, we're doing all these videos for like a year of Diddy and all these crazy things we keep hearing.
Any woman he's with, she was 19 and he was 20 years older, or right thereabouts. She was 19, he was like 38. So age difference. Men who want an age difference. I know we say it's normal. It's not normal. It's predatory. They want, Diddy definitely hates women. I mean, he kissy with his fake mommy with that bad wig. No offense. No offense. Oh, he's definitely a malignant narcissist. But he's also one of the lower echelon. There are more that are going to come. Well, you got to be a demon. You got to be a crybaby R. Kelly. Gail, why are you talking like that?
He got enough money to buy his way out of this. So we think.
So when you look at that video of him pacing around and he's looking worried, and you knowing him, do you think it's possible that he might commit suicide?
When you're a narcissist, there's always a possibility because you're suffering. But I don't think that he can see himself in a cage. I don't think he can see himself behind those bars in those type of situations. It's too many real dudes that dislike him. But then again, there's a lot of real dudes that need help. And him being behind bars, he could probably help them.
These is wild. They pay big to do damage and procure victims. They're sex traffickers, and all of these bitches is whores. Sex worker. $250,000 a month to do strange shit at will. You couldn't wait for Cassie to run. You couldn't wait to be in Cassie's shoes. Carisha, please.
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
I'm like, whoa, wait till we start really getting the real evidence when the trial starts. Bro, there was no real evidence when the trial started. There was more buildup to the case than there was actually anything in the case. Daphne Joy, aka Jane Doe, went on the stand and it was a terrible. Bro, they asked her, what made you feel obligated to be a part of these freak-offs? And she brought up allegedly her rent being $10,000. Shorty, get a job. Go work. Get a job. You obligated to be part of a freak-off because you had to make your rent? Get a job. That's not, no, hold on. Diddy being like, all right, Shorty, I'll smash and I'll help you out with your rent. Bro, they gotta lock the whole hood up. They gotta lock up every hoe. Because I see all them hoes on social media like, yeah, nah, I got a nigga paying my rent. I got another one paying my phone bill. So all of them should be part of a RICO as well. They gotta put all the dudes in your DM should fall in a RICO together. Like 50 said, he's just the gay John Gotti. 50 said he's a bad man. Remember, 50 was like, oh, he's gonna do life. 50's another one that was talking a little bit crazy that didn't come to fruition. Only thing that happened, case, and I know a lot of you guys are like, he didn't fully beat it. He still got guilty on 2 charges. 2 charges I told you he was gonna get guilty on. I even thought he might get guilty on arson. Even though that they said they found female DNA and there was no proof that Diddy did it. I kind of still saw maybe that would happen because Kid Cudi taking a stand. No, he still got not guilty on all of it. And the main ones he wanted to avoid is that SEX one. Trafficking. That one. That's the one that he did not want to get. And not only that one, the RICO. The FRICO. Whichever one you want to call it. Those 2 right there, if he would have got that, he would have been cooked. He would have been cooked like everything bagel. Like it would have been over for him.
Chest pounding. I feel like I could hear my heart pounding. The entire hip hop, I imagine, is interested in this moment. Okay. The jury is entering the courtroom. The judge asks the jury 4-person to confirm the panel has gotten a verdict. The 4-person has confirmed that they have reached a unanimous verdict on all 5 counts. On all 5 counts, people. Juror 5 is the 4-person. Says, received your note, juror number 5. Have you reached a verdict? We have. Is it unanimous? Yes. Please provide the verdict for the deputy. Wow. Here's the update. The 4-person is gonna read the verdict. Wow. Okay, it's about to happen right now, chat. It's happening right at this moment. So if you were spiritually in that courtroom, you would be hearing what's gonna happen. Now, remember we just showed you the verdict sheet. And in the verdict sheet, right? In the verdict sheet, this is how it looks. We showed you this. So they're going to go down and say, in count 1, we find the defendant either guilty or not guilty. I don't know if they're going to be instructed to read this, but the attorneys could ask. We can't miss the moment, chat. We can't miss the moment. Here we go.
Have you ever seen those ads where you're like playing as the soldier going left to right and you get like the -1, +2? Well,
Back on road. Can't miss the moment, chat. We can't miss the moment. Here we go. In the matter, count 1, not guilty. Count 2, not guilty. Holy shit. In the matter of count 1, not guilty. Racketeering, he beat. Sex trafficking of Cassie, he beat. Transportation, I told you, he got that one, but he be fine. He be out in a couple months. He be straight. Oh, we back on road, chat. Oh, we back on road. We back on road, chat. We back on road. Yo, Cassie, get the fuck on out of here, Cassie. Get the fuck on out of here. Yeah, my boy was doing some prostitution shit. He should have been just doing the escorting, but he wasn't sex trafficking them hoes. Come on, man. Come on, man. If he definitely not guilty for Cassie, he ain't guilty for Jane Doe. She's a hoe. She a hoe. She's a fucking hoe. That's a fact. Here we go. Here we go. Listen, you know what this means? All you other bitches that had whatever type of thoughts like, oh yeah, that's sex trafficking? No, it ain't, ho. You hoes gonna have to live on y'all knees for life. I'm sorry, okay? This is at least some redemption for Diddy. This is some redemption for Diddy. Hold on. Come on. Where's the fucking update? Come on, Inner City Press. Sex trafficking for Jane Doe? No, not guilty. Transportation? Guilty. 2 out of 5, chat. That boy beat the case. He beat the case. He beat the case. He beat the case. He might even come home today. Time served, man. Time served. All you Cassie Jane Doe hoes, it's a wrap for y'all. That shit is over. And they should, I wish this judge could have dismissed all them civil suits too. All y'all niggas, go back to being broke. It's okay. Give this nigga back his baby oil and let him go have his Astro Glide. Let that man go back to the pre-freak office crazy chat. I might have to put in an RSVP. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, chat. I might have to RSVP, chat. I might have to be the next one, chat. I ain't gonna lie to you. My boy beat the case. My boy beat the case. My boy really beat the case. No fucking way. He really beat the case. Yo, if I was him, Jane Doe is getting tossed out of that $10,000 a month crib like Jazzy Jeff in Fresh Prince. Get that hoe on out of here, man. Go back to Fifth. Go back to Fifth. Go back to 50. Go over there. Nah, Fifth, you gonna be tight. That nigga did not get on Twitter. Yo, Brian Steele. My boy take no L's, man. Somebody said me happy for him is weird. What do you think? I'm supposed to be sad? Nigga, I watched the trial and I covered it just like y'all. I think Cassie and them was over whooping. They were over whooping. Diddy was beating their ass. That's a fact. But the idea, and I told you exactly what I predicted was what happened. Guilty on prostitution. This is a prostitution charge. You spent millions of dollars for something that doesn't carry a mandatory minimum.
Oh, no, not guilty. Transportation, guilty. 2 out of 5, chat. That boy beat the case. He beat the case. He might even come home today. Time served, man. Time served. All you Cassie Jane Doe hoes, it's a wrap for y'all. That shit is over. And I wish this judge could have dismissed all them civil suits too. All y'all niggas, go back to being broke. It's okay. Give this nigga back his baby oil and let him go have his Astro Glide. Let that man go back to the... But the fact that it did not go through and the only ones he got was paying for prostitution, which I knew he was going to get, bro. We had prostitutes on the stand talking about it. So that I knew was going to happen. And he was kind of already admitting to the guilt as well, was saying like, nah, bro, it was different. I was on drugs and stuff. I was just having a good time, which a dude being as rich as Diddy paying, see, Ayo paying men. To me, that's crazy. That's Ayo to the full. But I'm sure a lot of these rappers and a lot of these dudes are paying shorties to pull up, go to hotels and all that and do the most. So for Diddy being Ayo and having bread, give him the book to go do life? Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And it's funny because as soon as he got not guilty on the trafficking and he got not guilty on the RICO, we see all the celebrities like, yo, that's lit, man. Bring him home. I'm happy. Free him. The only one I give it to is Boosie. Boosie was the only one that I see that was like, all right, cool. You know, he was really holding it down the whole time he was talking. He's like, yo, they got to free him. They're just trying to take this black mogul away. I give Boosie that. And Boosie did do a video saying, I'm happy he's home.
Man, I'm so glad Diddy free, bro. You know, the reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. Like, and I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this shit for people, you know, I know he ain't paid people, but if he done all this shit for hip-hop, if he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, you know. And people always, Boosie was on Diddy's side. Nah, it ain't that. It's because I'm thinking about 7 children. Y'all thinking about one person. I'm thinking about these 7 kids who been in my kid's position. Not knowing if your daddy gonna come home or not is a burden on the child. So all y'all was like, no, I'm thinking about them damn children, man. So, man, I'm glad he free, bro. You know, like I've been said, I don't feel he was guilty of nothing, you know, nothing but domestic violence, you know. But the court spoke, man, and man, I'm happy that dude children, man. I know his feeling right now, bro. I'm just happy for them children, man. So, you know, Diddy, sit your ass down somewhere. That's what you need to do. Grab Stevie J and your turn.
But Young Miami was there clocking it and all that on social media, which I'm happy she's still, you know, supporting Diddy and the fam. But why wasn't you outside with a sign? The same sign you brought to the award show. You should have been out there. Poppy's home, whatever the hell you should have been out there with a sign. You should have been out there supporting the diddler. There was no support to the diddler throughout the entire case. That I saw. I'm gonna say that I saw. Let's speak that me personally that I saw. And now clocking and all that, like, You think Diddy gonna be moving the same way now that he beat the case? I don't think so. Unless he's really crazy. Like, unless he's really insane. At this point, now they gotta put him away. And y'all probably noticed how I haven't even been calling him the Diddler. I'm trying to get, we calling him Brother Love again. We calling him Diddy, bro. He beat it. He beat it like Michael Jackson. He beat it. He beat it. We see Ray J after almost getting beat up by all Diddy's kids out there posting, celebrating. Even though he was saying butts were being taken and all that. We did make a video where he said he was not talking about Diddy. He was talking about Suge. And that was before the sentencing was even given to us. That was a couple weeks ago when he was talking about Sexy Red and that whole era, like around that time. You see where he said he wasn't even talking about Diddy, and that's what he tried to explain to Diddy's kids, that he was talking about Suge Knight. Well, I believe it. Kind of semantics. I don't know. I don't know if I really believe it. Because at the end of the day, he's like, yo, butts were being taken. I didn't say who was taking it. I didn't say who was taking it, even though, you know, the conversation was Diddy. Everyone's talking about Diddy. You're on the news. But after Diddy only gets guilty on those two cases, I believe I was trying to look it up on ChatGPT. I believe it's 0 to 10 years, 10 years. And I'm thinking like, yo, bro, this dude already got time served. He can't do, like, hey, he can't do house arrest where he gets, like, you know, gets to exercise around his neighborhood or can't leave Star Island or something. That doesn't work. That's not an option. We see he got 2 charges that could be up to 20 years, right? Do I think he's going to get the 20 years? No, I do not think he's going to get the 20 years at all. I'm thinking they're going to run them concurrently together at the same time. Not like you finish one case and then run the other. I don't think that's happening. I think he's going to run them both at the same time. And we're probably going to see Diddy do, like, I'm assuming anywhere from like 5 to 8. And if it was anybody else, I think you would even get less for the prostitution. But since it's Diddy in this big case, and to me, the prosecutors lost this case. Their main thing that they went after and they were saying that he's gonna do all this time didn't even happen. So they lost the case. Not only did they lose the case, I don't think Diddy's doing the full 10. They're gonna give Diddy less time for all this than Tory Lanez allegedly shooting the floor and a bullet fragment hit Meg Thee Stallion with no evidence being found. I'm telling you, we're seeing a trend. We're seeing a trend of just weird cases that are just making no sense. But I'm thinking Diddy's gonna get like 5 to 8. See him back Diddy bopping throughout Miami and LA. TMZ did a lot of clips today too, which we'll go through. But let's first start off with going down. TMZ, Diddy to the family, I'm coming home. That was actually one of the smackers. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Diddy had a message for family after skating on the most serious charges in his criminal trial. I'm coming home. After the not guilty verdicts for racketeering, trafficking were read in court Wednesday, Diddy turned around in his seat and nodded to his family and told them he would see them soon. That's wild. I know that must be crazy for the kids. Like, this was like a roller coaster for them. Diddy's mom, Janice Combs, was seated behind him in the gallery along with his 3 daughters and his son, Christian, Justin, and Quincy, plus Diana and Tran, the mother of his youngest child, and a bunch of extended family members. When the jury note about reaching a verdict came back, it didn't seem like Diddy's legal team was too happy and prosecutors were smiling. But things quickly shifted. Because yesterday, remember, they came back to all the counts except one. There was people that were on both sides. They couldn't come to agreement on count one, which was the RICO. And even TMZ, myself, after what seeing happen to Tory Lanez on that Christmas break, I'm like, dude, this is due to this being 4th of July weekend. I know that jury's trying to get off of this case already. Usually when they come back that fast is not a good note. So I was thinking that we were going to see a lot more guilty. But the fact that we saw that turn around so quick and the prosecutors were there smiling and how quick that smile turned upside down, oh, that's great. Diddy was brought out of his holding cell smiling to his family, and he buried his head in a book as the jury came out. There was a big sigh of relief from Diddy's camp when there was a not guilty after count 1, the RICO charge. That's probably the main one. The gallery yelped, oh, when Diddy was acquitted of the trafficking charges, count 2, Cassie. Diddy started rubbing his eyes and put his hands in his head. Diddy said, like, am I awake or am I still in the cell? Am I awake or am I still in the cell? They would have to restrain Mr. Sean Combs. That's what they would have yelled. Is this real or am I in the cell? Oh my God. Let's see what TMZ started screaming when the verdict's in.
Diddy standing up?
All right.
Okay, here we go. Judgment time. Here we go.
I still need 3 more stories.
All right.
We're going to be delayed on getting the show ready.
I will delay myself for this.
Judge, we have received your note. Juror number 5, have you reached a verdict? We have. Is it unanimous? It is. Please provide the verdict to the deputy. Okay, the deputy will inquire to the verdict. In the matter of U.S. versus Combs, count 1, not guilty. Sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura, not guilty. Transportation of prostitution, guilty. So count 1 and 2, not guilty.
Wow.
Manna, guilty.
We'll take it.
Wow.
All right, wow. Sex trafficking, no. Count 1, no. Count 3, yes, Mann Act, Cassie.
And,
now we have
count
Jane.
3 is Mann Act Cassie.
Correct. So now we just have Jane trafficking and, sorry, mailing. Trafficking and Jane Mann Act.
Trafficking, not guilty. Transportation of prostitution, Jane, guilty.
Wow, so 2 in the Mann Act. 2 Mann Acts and that's it.
Up to 20. But, you know what? But that may be concurrent, and the prosecution. Well, it's 2 separate acts. It wouldn't be. This is a. Even though he's found guilty, huge. This is a loss for prosecutors.
Yeah.
I mean, their whole point was Diddy was a racketeer who forced them into sex. The jury said no.
It's a loss.
It's just a civil prostitution. It's a prostitution case.
Diddy was paying for the hand. That's what we're seeing right here. Diddy paid for the box, and we ain't talking about the same definition as Roddy Ricch. Like, this is crazy right now. This is a dub. This is a dub. And you hear that one dude in the back like, yo, it's 2 different counts. It doesn't matter. I personally believe that we're going to see those run concurrent during sentencing. Mock my words. Let me be Salome Bella, because Salome Bella, that's my guy. She put me on after all the Diddy takes and we watched all them videos. I'm telling you, yo, bro, before the trial started, this was like, yeah, it's looking bad for him. After the trial started, I'm like, I don't know, maybe tomorrow will get worse, because I'm still not convinced. Bro, I watched the whole case and I was never convinced. I was convinced females did not want to work. That's what I was convinced of. They did not want to work and they wanted to enjoy the life of celebrity without having to put the work in as a celebrity. And a dude was just there, a rich man, just dangling gifts over their heads. Ooh, you want some new veneers? I got you. You're just gonna have to do an all-star gangbang. Like, yo, that's crazy. That's like if I tell my Jones today, yo, there's this shorty that lives down the block in Miami and I'm dying to clap. Let's do it. And as soon as we're done, we go to Designer District and I'll grab you a Louis bag. Bro, if she says yes, what am I guilty of? What am I guilty of? Hold on, why am I getting locked up? What did I do? I just had a joint that's down to smash for materialistic things. Now, morally, is that correct? No, I don't believe it's correct. Now, him hitting Cassie in the hotel room, was that correct? No, if that was a charge, guilty. But like I told you guys, he was never charged with that. Him being a freaky man, guilty if that was a charge, but that's not a charge. Him being ayo to the extreme and paying dudes to come into the room, ayo, guilty, but that's not a charge. Being a cuck, weirdo, not a charge. If it was, guilty, but that's not what we're seeing today. Was he guilty of a RICO? Was D-Rock and everybody else really part of this enterprise? And then Bad Boy was just a cover for ayo trafficking ring? No, I just didn't believe it. I did not believe it. Let's get back to the article. There was a moment when Diddy was found guilty of count 3, reporting for the purpose of prostitution relating to Cassie from the seat when he was acquitted on count 4. Trafficking, which again, that's the main one. That's the main one that you want to avoid. You definitely want to avoid those 2. We see Mama Diddy outside. Hold on, let's see what she was up to.
Coming home? Is your son coming home today?
Mama Combs, how we feeling, Mama
Miss Combs, how you feeling?
Very good, thank you. Good.
How is Puff feeling? Looking good.
Why is his mom waving at them like Queen Elizabeth? You see her cupped hand? Not guilty, you got to feel me. Oh no. After all the charges were read, guilty on count 5, transportation of the purpose of prostitution of Jane, Justin Combs bowed his head in disbelief. Diddy claps his hand in prayer and mounted thank you to the jury. Thank you. The jurors did not have a reaction. Diddy vigorously shook his head no. Judge Oren said he assumed Diddy did not want to go back to Brooklyn jail where he's been locked up since his September arrest. He again put his hand together in prayer. I believe by end of day today, we'll find out if they're gonna let him go home on home confinement or not. Prosecutors said they don't want it to happen. They do not want that to happen at all. We saw it on the Act stream as well, where he had dude that's been outside showing him the craziest love and always supporting Diddy, where he was explaining about what happened in the courtroom, and the prosecutors are saying they do not want to see Diddy go home.
Comey stood up and said, Your Honor, I am against releasing Puffy today. He has still been convicted of some very serious crimes, which carry a maximum penalty of 20 years. How she gets to the 20 years is that the maximum sentence of SEX selling of the body under the federal sentencing guidelines is 10 years. 2 counts, 10 years, 20 years. But she is putting gasoline on it, lighter fluid on it, because there's no way that they're gonna run each of these counts consecutively. Facts. Meaning you do one sentence, and after that sentence is done, you do the other sentence. What they're gonna do is run both of those charges consecutive together. Concurrently. And whatever sentence that he is sentenced to, he will just do one sentence. I think that the minimum, I tried to look it up on the guideline, I think the minimum sentence is 6 months or 0 months to 10 years. I don't know. I looked it up. I couldn't find it. Maureen Comey then went on to say that, Your Honor, Puffy engaged in drugs and coercion. He is guilty of some very serious crimes. And we are going to be seeking a maximum lengthy prison sentence for Puff. He should not be allowed to go home today to his family. When he came to self-surrender, when we arrested him back September 2024, he had drugs on him. He knew he was under investigation. He was still engaged in sexual activity.
Here we see Diddy's fam leaving the court with a smile on their face. Let's see this video. I actually haven't watched this one yet.
Okay, here they come, y'all.
It's gonna get crazy.
Here they come.
Here comes the family. Inside, they're starting.
How you feeling, Janice? How you feeling? How you guys feeling?
Guys, oh, look at the smiles. Look at the smiles.
Smile, twins. Smile. How you guys feeling?
Look how you guys feeling. Whoa, there you go, guys. How you guys feeling? How you guys feeling?
That Jane Doe? Oh, I thought that was Daphne Joy. I'm like, hold on, she's walking out with the fam?
Dana, why you crying?
Oh, that's Dana. That's his other baby mom. I thought they came back out. Crazy. That's dope though. At the end of the day, bro, that's your father. That's your father. Nobody in the world, no one in the world wants to deal with something like that. Not only deal with something like that, but not knowing what the future of your family is as well. Diddy's the provider for them. Diddy's the provider for them. Diddy's defense and prosecutors went back and forth on whether he should be released from custody ahead of sentencing. When they were done, Diddy got off his chair and dropped to the ground. He was on his knees. He put his hands on the chair and started praying, which we saw pictures of that released. Again, not of the actual like him doing it, but the drawings of it. Emotions poured out from Diddy's defense team too. They hugged each other, and Diddy hugged Tenny Garago and his other attorneys. Tenny was crying tears of joy. Mark and Filio was delivered. The closing argument was hyped up, turning to the gallery and shouting, "Yeah!" Kool-Aid man. What happened to Brian Steele? Steele really is, bro. If I ever got into anything, and I know I can't afford it, because yesterday's price after the Young Thug event ain't the same price. Now after the Diddy, bro, he beat the state RICO and a federal RICO. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, he wasn't there since the beginning of it. He wasn't. And when he came in, he made so many changes to that defense team as well, where he was saying, whoa, 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 whoa. If you guys do this, it's gonna look crazy. So the fact he was able to make the right swifts and changes, Diddy was hugged. Dana started crying. Christian did a little dance out the hall, and the gallery broke out in applause. Prosecutors whiffed on their biggest charge against Diddy, but they didn't look miserable, and Monroe Comey, who delivered the final words to the jury before deliberation, was actually smiling a bit. Bro, we saw fans going crazy outside. Hold on, there's one of this that I just saw. Yeah, this is going crazy on social media. Fans throwing baby oil all over themselves outside the courtroom. Remember that girl that was going viral with the wig too, that blue wig that she was beefing with Myron? Throughout New York City, she pulls up and gets drenched in baby oil. We might have to cut her out. I don't know. Let's see if they blurred it out on TMZ. But I was seeing all these videos on Twitter like, yo, New York's gonna be a slippery place today. I ain't gonna hold you. You gotta wear your grippiest shoes in New York today. Pause. It's gonna be a slippery city. It's gonna be a slippery city. Watch us start seeing niggas in the club ordering 6-pack of like baby oil and stuff. There's gonna be clubs out there offering baby oils in the club. I'm telling you, we're gonna see that Johnson & Johnson going crazy up today. Look, the dude right there. Him, look at his hand, baby oil, bro. He's baptizing niggas in baby oil. He's hitting them like holy water with baby oil. It's a freaky festival outside. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Man got a reflective Supreme camp hat on with no shirt on, looking freaky to the max. She about to get arrested outside for indecent exposure.
I kid you not. People are pouring baby oil on one another outside this courthouse. Baby oil having a very big play in the freak-offs we heard about. You have people saying it's not RICO, it's FRICO. You got applause coming when the mother...
Oh, that's another video. I'm telling you, these are all coming out as we speak. Nancy Grace calls Diddy's verdict Richmond's justice, devastating for the victims. Hold on, I gotta see this. I'm telling you, we watching all this live together right now as this is just popping up.
Nancy Grace, welcome back to TMZ Live. We know you were watching. Your reaction the moment that the verdict came down.
Well, I'm curious as to how you think I would have reacted, but I can tell you.
You still support Elvis Presley, 14-year-old girl. That's cool. That's still the king of rock and roll. But Diddy paying for some freaky sessions, you would think he's the worst man in the world. I know exactly how you feel.
Elvis said Priscilla was young enough that he can train her any way he wants.
Elvis controlled your looks, your clothes, your hair, your makeup. He controlled you. Totally.
Priscilla Presley is a name synonymous with Elvis, the king of rock and roll. Their unconventional relationship began when she was 14 and he was 24, and their life together was far from perfect.
How did your parents allow a 14-year-old teenager baby to be with this then superstar?
Despite the significant age difference, the two became inseparable. At age 17, Priscilla's parents agreed to let her visit him in Los Angeles during her summer break. Once she arrived, Elvis took her to Las Vegas. In order to hide this from her parents, Priscilla wrote all of her postcards in advance, and they were mailed daily from Los Angeles by Elvis's staff. Despite many rumors involving Elvis and his female co-stars, he proposed to Priscilla in 1966 when she was 21 and he was 31. Priscilla said that they were never intimate before the wedding night and that it was Elvis who wanted them to wait.
It said that he wanted a virgin.
You feel the same way that they came after Bill Cosby. You feel the same way they came after Diddy. You feel the same way they try to end Cat Williams. You feel the same way. And I'm not saying none of these dudes are perfect. I'm not saying none of these guys are even innocent. But it's just all a coincidence that it only happens around our moguls. That's the only weird thing to me. Because if this would have went guilty, guess who's next? Now Jay-Z got to watch his back. We already saw fake cases coming out at him. Ye got to watch his back because we hear about Daphne Joy going to another freak off. They never said Kanye West's name or Ye. They never said his name. But all of us just putting information together of the Bianca birthday party that happened in Vegas and the timelines just matching them up. If you can make an educated guess, this is just a guess. If I'm guessing that freak off was Kanye West. That was Ye. Just off the Bianca birthday, Vegas, Ye would have been there. The thing is, where does this end? But I tell you where it doesn't go. It doesn't go to another culture. We're not gonna get too deep into this video, but let's not get too deep into this video. They love Elvis Presley, which I'm not telling you not to. But Michael Jackson's another one. Spoke against Sony and look what happened to him. Diddy spoke against a major alcohol brand and look what happened to him. They said that my boy Cat Williams tried to buy NBC. Do I know if that's real or not? But look what happened to him. They said Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC. Look what happened to him. It's just weird. It's always a weird coincidence.
I'm shattered. I'm devastated. I feel like I got kicked in the stomach and in the teeth, and I'm sure that makes all of Sean Combs, aka Diddy's followers, happy. But I'd like to point out that there are other people much more devastated than I am.
Who?
That would be his victims.
Who? Cassie Ventura and Daphne Joy, the one that's living in $10,000 a month apartments that he's still paying for to this day while she was on the stand. Or no, let me guess. Cassie, who's crying her, Diddy cheated on her. Oh my God, he's the worst man in the world. But she cheated on Diddy mad time. We heard about her with Michael B. Jordan. We heard about her with Kid Cudi. Now we see that she's with Diddy's old workout instructor. gym instructor, whether the hell he was, karate instructor. I don't know what he did, but he did something he instructed. And now you're with him. So you could have bagged any man in the world, but you still get with a dude that's in my circle. But you hate this all so much. And we've seen text messages of her still texting Diddy that she loves. Cheating on the man that she's with today and got kids with the diddler. We saw evidence of that throughout the case. We saw her man walk out. Party Fontaine and him had the worst. They were there supporting their woman and literally cried themselves to sleep on the way home.
Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, left the New York courthouse today. His face said it all. Inside, Cassie bravely testified on day 3 of the Sean Combs trial. The silence outside, louder than words. What do you think he's feeling? Let us know below.
But maybe, hey, maybe 30 million wasn't enough to keep her happy. She got 20 from Diddy and got 10 from the hotel for not speaking on the footage. Maybe she's the victim that they're talking about. She was in this for money and she got what she wanted. She was in this for money and she got what she wanted. She didn't care about that criminal suit. She cared about the civil suit a bit more.
They're devastated. And dare I speak for victims all across the country, they're devastated because it does show that there is rich man's justice, which is very different. I believe justice is supposed to be. I think Sean Combs is guilty on all counts. And I'm sorry the jury couldn't understand the facts the way I understand them. And another thing, all the joyous rapture dancing in the halls of the courthouse, cheers erupting outside the courthouse. We haven't had sentencing yet. And when I read, for instance, your banner, shame on you. The banner should be Sean Combs convicted on 2 felonies, facing a potential 20 years.
No, not at all.
What?
Let me make the point.
Go, Harvey. More serious
They would
sentences
never have
for the other
filed
charges.
these charges against him if it were just the Mann Act. These charges, Nancy, were filed because of Cassie's lawsuit alleging what the prosecutors lost in this case. They never would have filed this case. This is a non-violent crime. If committed in a state, might even be a misdemeanor. So to say that he was convicted and that's the headline is just wrong.
You're right. He did get acquitted on the most serious charge. You're right. There's been a lot of ridicule heaped on the state. But I can tell you this, Levin, I've gone into court many times thinking I would lose. And why did I do it? Because I believe in trying to do what you believe in, what you think happened, what you think is true. I understand the cross-examination of Cassie Ventura. I understand what she said in some of her texts to pacify, to placate Sean Combs. I get it. And they crossed her on that and they won. You're right. Sean Combs acquitted on the most serious charge, and that would be RICO.
How does this make you feel about juries and how they feel about women who are testifying about being victims?
It makes me feel horrible because how can I, with a straight face, allow victims to come forward that there will be justice in the end? How can I do that? After this, don't worry, I am not giving up on the justice system. But yeah, I agree, especially on Cassie. And I'm not saying that Jane was lying, but I think Jane had much more to be cross-examined on than Cassie did.
I know you're saying the jury got it wrong, and how does it make other victims feel? It was a 12-person jury that was diverse, and they listened to the testimony. By all accounts, they took it seriously from everybody observing in the courtroom. When you watch it and 12 people come up with the same conclusion, doesn't it require a very big leap to say they got it wrong?
Yes, maybe for you, but I will say this. I think that the cross-examination of Cassie, especially with the text, and of course the cross-examination of Jane, was very effective. And given the effective nature of the cross-exam, I think it weakened their credibility. Do I believe Cassie? I still believe Cassie. I do. I think she was raped. I think she was beaten and forced to go back into Freakoffs. I believe that happened, and I will go to my grave saying that happened. But she, according to this jury, did not withstand cross-exam, period. And while many people are taking great joy in attacking the prosecutors had the balls to go in and try one of the most wealthy and well-known musical artists of our time. So yes, they lost on a couple of counts. They won on a couple of counts. And I predict there will not be an appeal bond.
Not guilty, you get to feel. Oh my Lord. I agree with one thing that Nancy Grace did say. I agree with one thing she did say. She believes that the cross-examination of Jane Doe and Cassie is what weakened it for sure. For sure, because I can say like, yo, when Cassie goes up there, oh my gosh, she's gonna cook him alive. Not at all. Not at all. She went up there and I was like, really? And then we started seeing more evidence releasing like text messages. Then I heard a call from Cassie where she's threatening someone to unalive them over a freak off video. And I'm like,
but about this other incident. So during direct, Cassie had said that she was in Atlantic City hosting a bunch of parties, and a guy named Sujit that they knew, I don't know who Sujit necessarily is, he said that he had a video of Cassie touching herself or doing something, you know, during an FO, and she flipped out and she told Diddy, and he wasn't in town. I believe he was in California or somewhere else. Don't quote me on that, but he was not in Atlantic City and he was not in town. Hold on, I'm standing up. My legs are killing me. I'm gonna try to cover my notebook. So she told him, and he says, you know, don't let him out of your sight. Like, try to get this video. He's freaking out as well. So during direct, she said that when Diddy flew back to New York, they held a meeting with Sujit and you know, someone else. And these are my words, not hers. She kind of described this dinner as almost like a mafioso type dinner where Diddy was sitting at the table and he had like bodyguards surrounding the restaurant against the wall, you know, and that was that. So I'm kind of just like, okay, I guess, if, you know, I could share that with you guys, but that was it. Well, we got a lot more context today when the defense actually played a recording of Cassie. She recorded it herself. Because again, you know, Diddy said, don't let him out of your sight, you know, do whatever you can. She recorded herself confronting Sujit. And Sujit sounds very drunk. He says he has this video. She says, show it to me. It starts off fine. And then Cassie, hold on. I wrote up a lot of stuff down that she said. And again, they're really trying to show that, in my opinion, that it wasn't just Diddy that was violent, it was Cassie as well. Where is it? So we hear this recording, and she says, here it is. I will kill you right now. I will hide you. I will kill you and put you in the effing dirt. I will kill you and I will kill you again. And she says, you're playing games. All the friends are leaving. I've never killed anyone, but I will kill you. I don't care. You're playing games. I'm going to. And then she says, it's not going to be my hands. Someone else is going to do it. Blood won't be on my hands. And then the defense made sure to tell us that he was in California when this happened. So I know what they're trying to do. Again, it seems like they're dragging Cassie through the mud here. And when I said that his attorney was, you know, strategic yesterday, Nicole Esteveo, and being kind and not badgering Cassie, that seemed to dissipate a little bit today. At one point, they're talking about Cassie going to rehab in 2023, and she went to somewhere called Willow House. And Esteveo says, you know, you looked at the website, right, before you went to rehab? And Cassie's like, I don't know, I don't remember. And then she made a comment like, well, surely if you left your children for 45 days, you would have looked at the website ahead of time. Objection, and then before the judge could even say sustained, she's like, withdrawn. So it was getting a little spicy. And just about this rehab, they were talking about, the rehab, and basically that it wasn't just for drugs and trauma, it was a lot more than that. She had some type of neurotherapy that would help her cope with trauma. She had sessions where she would basically, relive some of the trauma and complete it. And then they made sure to share that she was taking some kind of drug. I think it was, it started with an S. I gotta find it. It'll take me a minute to find it. It's so crazy out here. Suboxone. She was taking something like that, but not when she got to this rehab prior to that.
Let me see it, but it's my life and I'll kill you.
Yeah, but
No, I will kill you if you don't show me right now. I will kill you and I will hide you and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now. Pull it up. If you have it, pull that up. Because if not, I'm going to kill you and then he's going to kill you again. So just do it. Pull that up right now. You got that? Pull that up. I'm going to kill you. You don't understand. I don't give a I've never killed anybody in my life, but I will kill you because you're with me. You're with me in my life right now. If I saw a video of you doing anything that you didn't want people to see, I would show you the video so you could tell me what the happened. You're playing games with me, telling me you saw some now you're saying you didn't see some you're with me. I'm going to you up. I don't think you understand. And it's not going to be my hands, and it's not going to be blood on my hands. Someone else is going to do it. So you have to tell me right now, and I'm recording this whole shit. FYI, tell me what the you're talking about. Because this is not cool. We're not playing. I'm not playing with you, Sujit. Like, you saw some Yes, you're my brother. Be my brother and tell me what you saw. You're going to be able to find it?
Weird. Also, hearing from the Punisher, Paul's not even calling another man the Punisher, and he's not a Marvel superhero.
Clear that Diddy was directing the sex scenes and the sex acts, because as you described, it started off as just a sexy scene, but it progressed into actual sex over the course of the free costs. What kind of direction did you get the sense? Like aggressive, mean, demanding, or just, hey, this is kinky, let's do this?
As I described in the text, they were very subtle. Mr. Combs was always basically across the room, and it would be in a low tone, and it would just be suggestive. It was nothing aggressive, nothing that would create some sort of scenario that this was like unnatural between them. Obviously, a sexual scenario with a couple is not the norm, but it's something that I had heard about before, and there's some couples that get into this, and in hindsight, if there were no accusations, I would have saw it as completely natural.
Can you repeat that? You would have seen it as what?
If there was no accusations, like in hindsight, all this stuff is in hindsight. Like in the moment, I didn't see it as anything but a couple doing something risque, and Cassie as a partner trying to create a fantasy for who I believed was her husband, and for the majority of this.
Saying that he never felt like Cassie didn't want it or it was weird at all. Didn't another street worker say that he fell in love with Cassie as well, and he used to talk to Cassie like, why are you doing this? Let's leave together. She's like, oh, I can't. So these dudes are really believing that Cassie's into them. These dudes are really believing. They're not feeling like she's crying and like, no, get away from me, you freak. And Diddy's like, just stay there, lay down. Because these dudes are falling in love with her. But we see another one saying that she was into. The only time that it would ever feel like she wasn't was when Diddy would come and mess up the feng shui and be like, yeah, pick up her leg a little higher, playboy. Yeah, playboy, yeah. Now, turn her over, daddy. Yeah. Rub your meat in the back of her neck and tell her to call you daddy. Like that's just weird, bro. I don't know. I think I would be so like, you know what, you got it, bro. I'll take an L on this. I'll take my couple seconds of being inside Cassie and go home. It's cool. We don't even need the payment. It's cool. I'm gonna dip up out of here. Cause I get it if it was like an old woman, or overset woman, something, or she was crying and distraught and you're like trying to do it while you know it's against her will. Those are all psychological things that I'm like, yeah, nah, no way in the world. But Cassie smiling and Cassie butt naked invited me to the room. Yeah, she got a bad haircut, but I could definitely look over that. I'm in. And if she's really down for it, like really, I'll do it for free. Diddy, you could keep the payment. It's cool. We'll take this one in the arm. How about this? You just walk out the room. You can record it, but you can't be in the room. And I'll do it for free. It's cool. You can get up out here, playboy. We'll call this donation. Just give me something that I can file in my taxes. We even see Judge Joe Brown. That was my guy growing up. That was my guy when we didn't pay the cable bill in the house and I had to watch local television. Judge Joe Brown was my guy. And even Judge Joe Brown predicted this on Vlad before it even happened. He said not guilty on the RICO and the other main trafficking charge. He said, I do not think those are going to be guilty. He will be guilty on the prostitution one, which he was.
Based on what you know about the Diddy case right now, with all the evidence, and obviously there's no evidence from the defense, they're resting their case. What do you think will happen to the jury?
Well, since there's no state crime being involved, which is where all the criminal activity, the assaults on women, the arson, all that occurred, that's state. And this federal crime, this RICO crime, I believe that thus far all they've proven, and they've rested their case. I think they only proved the Mann Act, and that is flying interstate transportation for prostitutes. Perhaps drug use, drug possession, based on all the witnesses that have said they brought drugs from across state lines. If the deliverer of the drugs, in which I think there's an admission that the drugs were brought from cross state lines, then it becomes,
based on what you know about,
then it becomes federal. And in that case, possession, in my opinion, not distribution.
Well, I don't think that's actually a charge. The charges are the RICO, and then sex trafficking and prostitution.
Well, there you have it. All I hear then is prostitution, interstate transfer of prostitutes.
Right. But at the end of the day, and I've interviewed one of the male escorts, Punisher, and well, number one, he was not trafficked. You know, he was just paid. He was already living in New York. He would go about a dozen times, meet with them, and have their free costs and so forth. I asked him, do you feel like you were trafficked? He said, absolutely not.
Well, see, there's different things. You got trafficking, and then you got interstate transfer of prostitutes.
Right.
And so trafficking, yes, he wasn't, but he was a prostitute that crossed state lines and received monies. And that's what I think he will be found guilty of. That's perhaps the only federal crime I think he should be found guilty of, but it's certain because then it becomes federal. And then that doesn't amount to RICO. The things that they've attempted to prove, they did not prove enough to connect it to a RICO case, a continuing criminal enterprise.
I totally agree on that. I think the RICO is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, Bad Boy is not a mafia organization.
Correct.
That's just, you know, like trying to present to the world that it's a real company, but really they're like extorting and, you know, trafficking drugs. It's a real company.
That's exactly what they're trying to suggest.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
I think they're going back to the kids down in Atlanta. That, by the way, they were exonerated, I believe, one or two of them.
YSL case.
Yeah, YSL case where, yeah, their company was actively, allegedly.
BMF was a drug business.
Yeah,
we all know
right.
this. It is what it is. There's a TV show about it.
Right.
It is what it is. Yeah, but Bad Boy, Ciroc, Sean John, these are.
It doesn't.
Prostitution. Seems like it's almost the same thing.
Not really, because trafficking is essentially, that's the coercion, where you're coercing a woman to go across state lines to have sex with someone. Is similar to pimping.
In this case, it's not a woman, it's men.
Okay, it's similar
right?
to...
It's the men. It's
true.
the men.
But it's similar. Trafficking is like pimping.
Right, but do you think that...
This isn't trafficking.
Right, see, that's what I'm saying. So sex trafficking, none of the men are going to say that they were forced to engage in this horrible act of having sex with Cassie. Oh my God, I have nightmares over this. It was so bad. Boo-hoo.
I'll take 1 year for that.
That's right.
I'm just kidding.
We would have all done it for free, all right, including the escorts. It is what it is. Okay, so that was getting thrown out the window.
And I don't think that's one that he was denying. He kind of was saying that he was doing it over, you know, the drugs and all, and then the lifestyle that he was living. But it wasn't like he was denying like, I never did it. I never seen these guys a day in my life. No, that's not what he was saying. What he was saying was coercing, blackmail, bribery, RICO, kidnapping girls. Like, nah, kidnapping, putting Kid Cudi's dog in his room, like those things is what he was going against, and we see him get not guilty.
Hey everyone, this is Charlie Neff from the TMZ Newsroom. We are live right now on our YouTube. Huge win, if you guys haven't heard yet, for Diddy. They have just revealed that he has been found guilty on 2 acts of the Mann Act. That is up to 10 years of prison per act. This is a huge win for him. A lot of people are saying very shocking. A lot of the other counts found not guilty. As you can see, a lot of people are reacting. Harvey Levin is reacting. We're all in shock. Again, huge win for Diddy. So he is brought back to the courtroom this morning. As you guys know, yesterday the jury had agreed on 4 out of 5 of the counts. But today they were deliberating some more, and even in the morning, Diddy was seen holding a prayer with his family before he was taken back to his holding cell while they were continuing to deliberate. They brought him back out. They've come to an agreement, and for the most part, found not guilty on a lot of the acts, but again, found guilty on 2 of the acts for the Mann Act, and that was in regards to Cassie and to the Jane Doe. So we're looking at about 10 years per not guilty count. So about 20 years. They haven't said exactly what yet, but yeah, it's looking like a huge win for Sean Diddy Combs.
Also, are Future Rolling Loud's weird for Kid Cudi? Like, is Kid Cudi gonna be in a Grammy or something and be weird as you walk by and glance over at the diddler? Like, I gotta take that word out of my vocabulary. You glance over at Brother Love. When he glances over at Brother Love, I wonder how that would be now going forward. Because they're gonna be in a lot of the same rooms, I'm assuming. They're gonna be in a lot of the same rooms. They're either gonna do Rolling Loud, award shows, different music festivals, iHeartMedia, some. And I think they will cross paths once again. Let's see what occurs from it. Subscribe to the channel. We're on that road to 10,000 subscribers. The more information we keep seeing pop up, the more I will be adding. I know this is still fresh. This is popping up like crazy. Let's see what more we hear from this. Sub up to the channel.